Welcome trainers to the Pokemon tier list where we are going to be ranking every single Pokemon. Because of the sheer size of this list, I didn't want to keep you guys too long in the intro. However, there is a couple things I wanted to speak about, namely the formatting, the rules, and just some other aspects. There'll be a timestamp in the description for if you want to skip ahead to the list. However, I do recommend that you stay and listen to it, or at least check it in the description, just because it'll make the list a lot easier to view. For the format, each Pokemon is going to be ranked from worst to best in 8 different tiers. Each of these specific tiers will get its own dedicated video. And the big one, this list is 100% ordered, so every Pokemon is placed in its spot purposefully. If the list goes Sandshrew, Metagross, Prinplup, it's because Sandshrew is worse than Metagross and Prinplup, Metagross is better than Sandshrew but worse than Prinplup, and Prinplup is better than Sandshrew and Metagross. That does it for the format, but as for the rules, this list is completely based off of design only. A Pokemon's competitive viability, how I personally feel towards them, or their personality will not be a factor into their list's placement. However, if their design brings out their personality in a meaningful way, it will be taken into consideration. Also, no forms will be included on this list. That includes Mega Evolutions, Gigantamax forms, regional variants such as Alolan forms and Galarian forms, Pokemon-specific forms such as Darmanitan, Zen Mode, and gender differences. For Pokemon that don't really have a specific main form such as Deerling's seasonal variants, I use Pokémon Home's Pokédex feature. If you register every Pokemon in Pokémon Home, the Pokédex will only display one picture to represent the Pokemon. The design used for Pokemon that have multiple forms will be the one that is considered their main form in this video. I wanted to keep my thoughts strictly on the Pokemon's main forms and make sure my thoughts on them and their placements on their list was as precise and concrete as it possibly can be. And just a few other things I wanted to talk about that didn't really fit into the format or rules section. First off, my stance on what makes a good Pokemon design. What a Pokemon's based off of does not automatically make it a good or bad design. Just because Trubbish is based off of a trash bag does not make it a bad or a good design. What's done with that initial concept of a trash bag is what will make it a good or bad design. Also, this is not meant in any way to disrespect the Pokemon designers. At the end of the day, I love the Pokemon series and I just wanted to make a tier list to pass my time because 2020 gave me a lot of free time. I'm grateful for every Pokemon we've gotten. Again, I'm trying to be as subjective as possible with this list. This is not a list of my least favorite to most favorite, as I like Pokemon for more than just their design. I'm trying to explain and really think critically about what I feel about each Pokemon. However, it's just one man ranking these Pokemon. It's almost impossible for anyone to agree with the placement of every Pokemon on this list, and I know a lot of you aren't going to like some of the places of your favorite or least favorite Pokemon for that matter. Again, this was just a fun project I wanted to do with my free time, so I wouldn't take it too seriously. I think it's great with all the Pokemon we have, every single one could potentially be someone's favorite. I apologize if any of the ones you really love are not where you wanted them to be, but I encourage you down in the comments to let me know how you feel about each Pokemon I mentioned. I'd love to get a newfound appreciation for some of these guys. Oh, one more thing I almost forgot. This list was finalized with Calyrex being the most recent Pokemon in the Pokédex, so any Pokemon that was announced after the release of the Crown Tundra will not be included in this list. Okay, I think that's everything. Ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, get yourself a nice snack because we're going to be ranking all 898 Pokemon from worst to best, starting with the worst tier. Enjoy. Alright my boys, let's get this one out of the way. I know this might not come to a surprise to a lot of you, but yeah, Jynx is the worst Pokemon out there. Jynx is a very controversial Pokemon, and its controversy is over a topic I'd rather not discuss here, but if you're a Pokemon fan, you just look at it, you can tell what I'm talking about. However, if your excuse is that Jynx's design has been updated and changed to be more appropriate, then in that case, Jynx is the only Pokemon that needed to be changed due to controversy, and that alone puts it at the bottom. The bottom line with Jynx is that no matter how much you change colors on it or change certain design aspects, the root of its original design is still there, it's still prevalent, that you can never truly wipe away completely. Yeah, I know, this is where the form rule really comes into play. Cherrim's overcast form is actually its main form, and, well, there's not much to say about here. It just looks like an eggplant, but it's not even an eggplant. I can appreciate the idea behind Cherrim, and honestly, its little peach blossom form is really adorable, and if that's the one we were grading, it would definitely be a few tiers higher, but that is not the one we're grading, and we're left with a Pokemon that's just a covered up flower. Look, I get it. Gloom is supposed to be ugly. Many of its Pokédex entries state how gross it is, but it's still gross. The crumpled leaves around it, the honey dripping out of its mouth, it's just a very unappealing Pokemon, and I understand the concept. It's like the ugly duckling, but with flowers, but we're still rating the ugly duckling, and it's ugly. Chewtle has a lot of issues. First of all, its body is very small, and its head is very big, so because of that, a lot of the attention put towards Chewtle is going to be on the face, because it has a big face, but there's not much going on here, and what is going on here isn't really appealing at all. I don't even mind the buck teeth and the little baby horn at the top. It's just the eyes, the unibrow that makes a little circle at the top, the two dots of the eyes, it's just very awkward. And combining the gigantic mouth with the little horn and the very simple eyes and unibrow, you get a pretty ugly Pokemon. Impidimp has very similar problems to Chewtle. However, Impidimp gets a bit of a pass because it is an imp. It's supposed to be a mythical, weird gremlin creature, but like Gloom, just because it's supposed to be a little gross, doesn't mean it's not gonna be ranked as gross. The colors on Impidimp are actually pretty nice. I enjoy the pink and purple. However, the colors are pretty loud, and what's also loud about Impidimp's design is its gigantic head. A head so big that the wings they wanted to add to it had to go on the back of it, so it flies with its head. It has these gigantic eyes, but all that detail the eyes are two little dots for its pupils, and it has this long, single-lined mouth, and once you open the mouth, just this gigantic tongue. Like, it doesn't look good at all. The proportions on Impidimp are a little weird. It has this little skinny body with this huge head on it. However, it's a little better than Chewtle. The shape of the head isn't too bad. I actually like the little pointy ears. Palpitoad is just awkward. At least the proportions are okay, so it's better than Impidimp and Chewtle, but the use of the warts on it is just so gross. And even though those warts are so gross, it feels like the focal point of its design. It has no arms, it has a little tail and feet, but you don't notice anything on Palpitoad except for those big warts on the top. Roggenrola actually has these little cute feet, and a little rock on its head is adorable, but that doesn't change that it's just a geode. It's a little rock with a hole in it. There's nothing really to say here. It's cute, it could be cute, but there's no connection. Without a face on a Pokemon, very similar to Cherrim, there's not much to connect to, so you can have something that's adorable, but there isn't anything to draw you into it after first looking at it. Probopass is just... ugh. Honestly, it's not even the mustache that bothers me, because Nosepass is an Easter Island head, has this big nose, the whole point of its design is its big nose, so if you were to give it an evolution, the next best thing would be facial hair, and yeah, That makes sense with Probopass. I actually also enjoy its little hat, bobs up and down, and the tiny Easter Island heads that circle around it are pretty cool. But those eyes, man. The eyes are so creepy. Probopass is a rock. It's just a rock. Even like the little nose hairs on it are like metallic scraps that got stuck to it. But those eyes, it just makes it look like a human. It's a rock, and it has these human eyes. It's so uncanny, and they just pierce into you. Honestly, if you gave Probopass Nose Pass's style of eyes, it'd probably look a lot better. Or if you just kept the little hat over its eyes, that would probably not make it that much better. But, oh man, it'd be better than what we have already. Simisear is just so awkward, man. The hair, it's a fire monkey. And to symbolize that, it has these 3 flames on his head. But the flames are so little, and the ears are so big. So the symbol of it now is its ears instead of the flame. It also just has a little neck towel. Like it's had a hard day at the gym. Put a little fur, white fur around its neck. I understand that the elemental monkeys in Gen 5 are supposed to be see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, and Simisear is the hear no evil monkey, so it should have big ears, but the flames on top of its head don't compensate for how big the ears are, and you just get these big, gigantic ears connected by a very, very wimpy looking hairstyle. In fact, the hair on its body that's made to look like fire is done on the tail, so like what are we doing up on the head instead if the tail is so powerful looking? It ends up making the Pokemon look very dopey, and it takes away from anything else on its body that would be appreciated, like its tail. Jumpluff doesn't look finished. It's a dandelion, and it's cute, but like, where's the rest of it? So with Eldegoss, it's another dandelion Pokemon, and the signature of it is the big dandelion on top of its head. One single large dandelion. With Jumpluff, its signature is having multiple dandelions. However, instead of going all in with that concept, it just has 3 little dandelions surrounding it and not even covering up its entire body. So you have this little blue ball with 3 dandelions equally apart from each other, and it just looks so weird. I think Jumpluff would have looked a lot better if there were dandelions surrounding its entire body so that it looked a bit like a sun. And that would make sense too, as flowers grow because of the sun. Meltan just looks thrown together. I really like the liquid metal concept to have such a strong force be one of the most malleable sources now, but it just feels like there was stuff stuck to it. Because all of these pieces are just thrown into a pile of liquid metal and there's no face to really draw a connection to, it makes the design look a little messy. Shiinotic is insanely creepy. The long, slender white body with these gigantic, all black eyes and smile and the long fingertips. It's very unsettling. However, I would have liked to see more detail go into the mushroom. It's a big pink mushroom with some green detail on it. It makes the mushroom look very plain, and it coats the very creepy Pokemon. Kind of ruins any potential Shiinotic could have had to be a more creepy and memorable Pokemon. Cosmoem is just a cocoon. It's very plain, there's nothing really to talk about. However, unlike other cocoons where they kind of have a little movement in their eyes, Cosmoem is completely static. There's no emotion in its face. It's a pretty little jewel, but there's nothing past that. It's very boring, and there's not much to say about it. Quilladin. I understand that Quilladin's supposed to be a nut, but the body type really does not make it look very good. Quilladin is all face. There's basically no body here. It's just a big round circle, and because it's so round, the limbs make him look very stocky. It looks like there's no movement within Quilladin because it's just a big ball. If it rolled around, maybe it would have been a little better, but nope, it has arms and legs, so you have this very circular design, and you have these little limbs trying to support it. And because it's all face, oh, they gave it a Pinocchio nose and these big eyes and mouth. Oh man. It's a very exaggerated face because it's so big. However, there is detail in it, unlike the problems Chewtle and Impidimp had, but it's just, oh man, it is just so unappealing. I actually really like some aspects of Crabominable's design. I like how muscular it is, so with these long arms, with these huge claws, it makes it look so much more powerful, and the combination of a Yeti also brings that power out as well. Also, I really appreciate the Yeti-style claws. It looks like there's a handprint on them. However, the muscular style of Crabominable's body ends up being a blessing and a curse. Because it's trying to be so muscular, you have these abs, you have this chest, but it smushes up the face because they pack so much detail into the body. And these little eyes, you have a pretty normal sized mouth, but it has these two little teeth in it, and it just makes the face so tiny, and you just have this big hulking body with barely anything to say in terms of a face, and it just ruins the design. The Galar fossils are a very hard one to rank because they're just a hodgepodge of different designs, and I get that's the point, but it's either a hit or a miss with them. And first we have Arctozolt. Now, there are actually aspects of Arctozolt's design I really like. I love its big floppy feet and this big tank-like body, but look at it. The Pokemon's in pain. I don't want that. I don't want Arctozolt to freeze. It is constantly shivering, and it's just like, okay, I can appreciate some aspects of its design, but like, at the end of the day, I don't want to see the Pokemon living a painful life. So, worst is the worst tier. Okay, this is the one that's gonna upset people. I don't get the hype behind Appletun. In terms of all of the Pokemon through Generation 8, people love Appletun, and it's easily one of the most popular ones. And I don't get it. I understand, like, oh, cute little friend, apple pie is my little buddy. But, like, it's a growth out of its body. It looks like a big boil on his body. It does not look appetizing, and like, even if it was to look appetizing, that's the Pokemon. That is not just a pie. Eating the apple pie is eating its, like, guts. Like, it's so gross. And even with its face, like, there's a little helmet, is cute. And then the little eyes. I actually really like the eyes. But you never see them because it's being covered by the apple. You see them rarely, but you barely do. But man, that apple pie, I can't do it. I hate to put this in your head, I really do, but it looks like the SpongeBob Splinter episode. It looks like an infected blemish, it really does. It's a growth out of its body, and it's supposed to be a fun little apple pie, but it doesn't look good. Eiscue's just a little too simple. The defining feature on it is definitely the big ice cube, and I love Eiscue, but its design leaves a lot to be desired. I would have really liked it if there was more design put into the ice cube. That way you have this signature feature of the Pokemon a lot more memorable. And I understand that might lose the idea of having the ice cube. If you design it too much, it's not going to look like an ice cube anymore. But just something, man. They just gave it two little eyes and a beak and they called it a day. And there's nothing on the body to make it memorable either. Maybe a little hair on the top and the little pieces of light blue on his belly. But there's no step further with Eiscue. They had the idea, ice cube on a penguin, and that was it. There's the no ice form face, but that's not what you remember Eiscue for. I feel like there could have been a lot more done to it. Huntail just feels like a discount Gyarados. It's a blue serpent with this big gaping mouth, but it doesn't have any of the power that Gyarados shows. I do like the detail of the tail though, looking like a fish to lure its prey, and that's a really nice touch. I also enjoy how the eyes kind of blend in a little bit with the polka dots on its body, so it looks like its prey could kind of be tricked by where its eyes are. But I do wish the mouth had a little more teeth on it. If the teeth is the big part of this Pokemon, I wish they went a little more in with it instead of just 4 little teeth. It looks more goofy than menacing because of it. Huntail ends up looking like the silly cousin of Gyarados, rather than a worthy contender for a good design. Rounding out this list, we have Swoobat, and at first glance, Swoobat actually looks really cool, but once you get into its design a little more, it's pretty gross. Because of the shape of its heart nose, it pushes the eyes out very far, and in an attempt to have the mouth connected, you have a really long mouth with 2 little fangs sticking out of it, and it looks very gross. And because its face is so stretched apart, the pointed ears at the top make the head look very small in comparison to everything on its face. Although besides that, Swoobat's pretty good. I really like the color on it. The pink and dark blue and light blue look really good. In some iterations, the fur on his body looks a little too big, but besides that, the face just really destroys it for me. Alright, 20 down, 878 to go. As you can see, we're only scratching the surface here with this list. Thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know there are a couple controversial picks in this section, but once again, please let me know down in the comments how you feel about each Pokemon, and if you disagree with some of their placements, please let me know why you feel that way. Again, I'd love to get a new sense of appreciation for some of these Pokemon. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. But we're not done yet, clearly. So stay tuned, because the next time we see each other with the Pokemon tier list, we're going to be going over the awful tier. So I'll see you then.